Into Palantir's latest quarterly results, we've got Ali Mogharabi, Senior Equity Analyst at Weston Capital Management, and Dale Smothers, President and CEO of RDS Wealth Management. All right, strong quarter. That might be an understatement. When we're speaking about Palantir, their first quarter where revenue topped $1 billion, adjusted EPS coming in at 16 cents a share, firing on all cylinders, whether we're talking about commercial or government revenue. Commercial up more than 90%, government revenue up more than 50%. Ali, I'll start out with you. What's your take on its latest results?
I think you said it perfectly. I think everything was much, much better than expected. We were certainly impressed with the top line growth, but also at the same time, margin expansion. So, a lot of investors could actually look at this and say, well, valuation multiples are too high. But, this is not just a growing company. This is a company that's widening its margins and increasing the free cash flow that it continues to generate. And obviously, they're actually not necessarily doing cost control, but they don't need to. So as the revenue continues to grow, margin is going to expand. They don't necessarily need too many sales reps out there. It's a word of mouth type of marketing for these guys, which just comes naturally. And it appears it's based on the performance of their products. So in my opinion, everything looks pretty good for this company.
Dale, I'm curious to know your thoughts. I want to share a couple quotes that you may be familiar with from the earnings call, CEO Alex Karp. What's funny is I've seen him here at the stock exchange in person. It comes across understated in person, but he said on the call, quote, "I've been cautioned to be a little modest about our bombastic numbers." He went on to say there's no authentic way, though, to be anything but have enormous pride and gratefulness about those numbers. He said, quote, "We're very proud and we're sorry that our haters are disappointed, but there are many more quarters to be disappointed, and we're working on that, too." Do you think it's fair to have such strong expectations about Palantir, especially because one of the questions, and I think Ali just alluded to that, has been the valuation is just so stretched. But, when you look at these most recent results, it feels justified now. But what's your take, Dale?
Yeah, Diane, you're exactly right. And Ali also alluded to something that is unique about Palantir, and many critics even criticize this to the point of it's going to be their existential threat, that they have no real sales force. It is all word of mouth because of the way they integrate into corporations. And if you listen to the sales call, you hear Alex talk about that specifically. Alex, bombastic, those two words go hand in hand. And I believe that he's running his company with this. A sense of pride is something that he is not bashful about. And he even talks about in his earnings call that just came out, he talked about creating a new level of credential just for working at Palantir. He believes solely that this company is going to change the world, and nothing about their statistics, nothing about their earnings, nothing about this company gives me anything to believe otherwise. I'll tell you this, Diane.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Dale. Finish your thought.
No, I'm pro Palantir for sure, and it's all because I think that they truly are building this company based off of what they believe, and they're not bowing down to any other of the naysayers in building this company.
Okay, Ali, I'm curious to know your thoughts on this because there are still some, I won't call it naysayers, but there are those who are cautious. You have analysts who are bullish. Wedbush is boosting their price target. We know Dan Ives is very bullish on Palantir. He calls it the Messi of the space, and they've raised their price target to $200 a share. Morgan Stanley, though, still equal weight on Palantir, but they are raising their price target, but it's below a level where it is right now. So that, to me, signals they see some downside here. Do you think that part of the, and I'm just using them as an example because there are others on the sell side who have similar thoughts. Who is right from this perspective, from your perspective, rather?
I would say, obviously, Alex Karp has demonstrated that the pessimists are wrong in terms of, how the stock is going to perform going forward. It remains to be seen. We could look at it from a technical standpoint. It actually has created a nice space at around the 150s. So, and going towards 200. So 200 does not seem unrealistic anymore. It seems more realistic. From a valuation standpoint, as I mentioned before, it's really, again, it just remains to be seen. But let's put it this way. As Alex said on the call, if these guys are going to generate around 10 billion in revenue, annual revenue in 5 years, and you look at that continuing margin expansion, then you're looking probably at free cash flow growing at 50, maybe 60%. Well, I should say free cash flow margin being around 50, 60%, and the growth also very, very accelerating, I should say, very impressive. So you plug that into a regular discounted cash flow model, it does not seem that unrealistic. But as I mentioned before, they've continued to prove pretty much everyone wrong on the street.
Okay, yeah, it does seem to be the case. Dale, I'll give you a final word. We've got about 30 seconds. What do you see as the difference maker when it comes to Palantir?
Yeah, Diane, I think the difference maker is the way that they implement AI. They are creating a new global world operating system. They're not just creating the next chat GPT. They are truly hoping to change the world with the way that they not only impact lives, but save lives. This is a battlefield technology. This is a healthcare technology. This is a blue collar technology. And Ali alluded to something there, that the valuation is very high. And in our opinion, this is a hold for now. I'm not saying we're rushing out to buy more of this at this particular valuation. But if you look back and think about Amazon when it was just a bookstore, it was overvalued. Tesla, when it was just an automotive company, it was overvalued. This is a game-changing AI company, and you want to be a part of it.
All right, Dale and Ali, we'll have to leave our conversation there for today. That's Dale Smothers and Ali Mogharabi with perspective on Palantir. Those shares rallying today. Thank you.